Live, I'm Bradley J, and with me today is Chris Russo of the Russo Insurance Agency, and we're going to talk about what to do and what not to do when you get in an accident. Maybe I should say if, maybe I should say when. I don't know. Maybe it's better to assume someday you will. Chris, how do you do?
Yeah, good to see you. Thank you for having me on, Bradley. Appreciate it.
I've known Chris for a long time, and he's the best. He's been a guest on many times on my show, including when it was on WBZ. And always, he's really good at his job and knows all about insurance. And it's fun to talk to him. So that's why we're talking to him today. First, let me share a story of an accident I got in. Actually, I guess I was involved in a passive way. Interesting story. I was in some podunk town in Vermont. I guess it's the country's safest state, by the way, but not for me on that day. I'm getting gas, and all of a sudden, bang! I'm at a convenience store. Some dude backed out of the convenience store from buying some convenience and swooped in an overly large swoop and smashed right into my car. And I didn't really know what to do. Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to get from him? What do I need to give to him? How do you know if you're supposed to call the police? So let's run that down now. So if it happens to you, you won't have to wonder and you won't make any mistakes. So let's assume, Chris, this guy just bashed into me. What do I do?
So my suggestion to everyone is to always call the police. I know they probably don't want to come out to a small accident, but over the years I've had many claims where one person will back into another person, and then when the insurance company asks the other person what happened, they make up a totally different story and say, "Oh no, Bradley backed into me." It happens. I'd like to think it doesn't happen, but it does happen. We've had, people stopped at a stop sign, get hit in the rear, and then, when they talk to their insurance company, they tell their insurance company that whoever backed into them at a stop. People don't. Unfortunately, some, not all, a few people don't want to tell the truth. Because if they tell the truth, they're going to get a surcharge on their insurance, and it's going to go on their driving record. So, a few.
So even when it's pretty obvious, in a case where somebody bashes into you at a stop sign, they might say, "Hey, that guy backed into me." Right?
So I would suggest calling the police for all accidents. The police probably don't want to hear that because, quite frankly, they probably have other things, better things to do.
Yeah.
But it's worth a shot. I would definitely make a call.
So they might say, "Are there any injuries?" We're not coming out. They might say, "We're not coming there. We're busy." But it's worth a shot.
You tried.
Okay, because you want to get the official documentation of what happened.
Yes. Yeah. So this way, the police officer will come and he'll go back to the station whenever he has time, next day or two, whatever, and write a report that so and so backed into Bradley, and he'll draw a little diagram. So your story will equal what his story said, the truth. And if the other person wants to try to change the story, it's very difficult for them to do that because the police, who are an impartial, when they show up, they don't know what happened, but they can see and talk to the people. The other thing too is to try to get, if you can get a witness, that's always good too.
Yeah.
Because they're impartial.
Oh, yeah. So if there are any witnesses, they may be impartial, or they might see your Massachusetts plate and not like you. Get witness information. You saw what happened.
Right.
Get that number. And if you do call the police, you can say there was a witness. Hopefully the witness didn't leave. Okay.
Well, you just get a phone number of the witness or get just a phone number or whatever. And the other thing too with witnesses is people in your car are not witnesses because they're biased, right? They're biased. So
they are biased.
Yeah. So
okay.
For the good or for the bad, they got your back, which is a good thing.
So that is important information. Now, what are the documents and stuff you're supposed to do?
So what you need to do is you need to take, and the good news is with cell phones now, everybody has a camera on their phone. So we used to have to write stuff down, but now it's easy. So take a picture of the other person's driver's license and take a picture of their actual registration from their car. And then while you got the camera out, take a picture of their license plate.
Okay. Take a picture of their license, take a picture of their registration, and take a picture of their tags on the
Yeah.
car, on the vehicle.
Well, the license plate number is on the registration, but hey, while you're there, got the camera out.
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
And I suppose it's good to take pictures of damage.
Yeah, you'll do that after because the insurance company will send somebody out to look at your car and appraise the damage. So you can, hey, while you're there, you can take some pictures too. You know,
Also, I suppose if, the two cars are stuck together still, you take a picture of that
yeah, I mean, just
evidence
take
of
some
how it.
pictures. Yeah, just take some pictures while you're there because you're going to have to wait for the police to come. So you're going to have some free time.
So, what about stuff you need to say, or more importantly, not say? I wonder about
All right.
apology. Apology is an admission of guilt.
Well, it is sort of right. It is. But it's the way we are. We're all,
Oh, I'm so
we're
sorry.
nice people. We say, hey, look, I just backed into your car. I am very sorry. Um, I hit somebody. I hit somebody in the rear in Milford probably 3 or 4 years ago. I want to say, and the woman, she was probably in her mid 20s. Clearly my fault. There was a police cruiser going through an intersection with his lights on. She stopped. I didn't. I hit her in the rear. Totally my fault. She get out of the car and ran over to me. I thought she was going to start throwing punches at me, and then she turned to me and said, "I am so sorry. I didn't see the police cruiser and I stopped short." And I said to her, "I don't know why you're sorry. Sorry, I'm the one who hit you in the rear." So, you know,
Yeah.
it was it
So
was a nice exchange.
she didn't notice the cruiser until the last minute and jammed on
Yeah,
her
she
brakes.
stopped. She stopped. I didn't stop. It's anytime in Massachusetts, anytime you hit somebody in the rear, even in a situation like that, they could slam on their brakes on the Mass Pike, go from 80 miles an hour to zero in 2 seconds. And if you hit them in the rear, you're still at fault. So anytime
Yeah,
you hit somebody in the rear, you're at fault. But
that's why tailgating
well,
is a
the one
is
thing, I mean, if you can prevent saying you're sorry, that's always a good thing, especially if it's not clear cut.
yeah,
If someone went through a stop sign, you went through a stop sign, or you weren't sure if it was a stop sign, or they had a yield sign, or you think your light was yellow and not red, I probably wouldn't say sorry, but people do. But then the other part of this too is then you have, if somebody's injured and you ask any personal injury attorney, they don't even want you to talk to the other person. They don't want you to talk to anybody because that's their right. I guess whatever you say can be used
yeah,
against you later down the road. But I'm just coming at it from an insurance agent's perspective.
yeah.
I personally, I try to be a nice person, and if I back into somebody's car, I'm going to say I'm sorry. That's just the way it is.
So you may not know if there's anyone injured or not, or anyone's going to claim they're injured. So it's again probably not good to say you're sorry or say anything.
Well, I would suggest trying not to, because just because someone's not sore, you get into an accident, you're usually with these soft tissue injuries, you don't really feel it until for hours or days later.
Yeah.
When you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, my back is killing me.
So what
So
about
you
this?
don't
What
have it.
about you get in an accident and some guy says, "Oh, I don't want to get the insurance surcharge. Let me just give you cash."
All right. Well, I've been doing this for 37 years, and I've seen it work out maybe 5 times at the most. Because here's kind of what happens. Bradley, let's say, Bradley, that I back into your car, okay? And I say, "Hey, Bradley, boy, I really don't want this to go on my insurance record. Let me just pay you cash out of my pocket." And I'll say, "Bradley, can you send me an estimate?" And I'll send me an estimate and I'll just pay it. So then you send me an estimate and it's 5 times as much as I thought it would be because people still think you can get a dent fixed for $300.
Yeah.
That is not the case anymore. It's nothing even close to that. So I see your bill for $2,500, and then I call you back and say, if I call you back, I call you
Right.
back and say, "Hey, Bradley, it's 2,500. Gee, that seems like a lot. Can you get another estimate?" And then you get another estimate, and then it'd be like, "Can you go see my brother-in-law across the state? And he works at a body shop. He can fix it." So, but the other part of this too. Let's say it's $1,000, which is going to be more, but let's say it's $1,000, and you write me a check, and I write you a check, Bradley, for $1,000. Okay. Now here's what happens. You bring the car to the body shop. The body shop starts taking the car apart and they find stuff underneath or behind things, or they need more money because they didn't account
Right.
for those because they couldn't
Something.
see something. They couldn't see something was broken underneath
Yeah.
because they gave you what's called the visible only inspection, right? An estimate. That's all they saw. So now the shop calls you back and says, "Hey, Bradley, we need another $400 to fix this or that." Now you have to call me back and say, "Hey, Chris, I need another 400," which isn't really what we agreed upon. And then you say, Bradley, you come back to me and say, "Oh, by the way, Chris, my car's going to be in the shop for 3 or 4 days. I need a rental car." So that whatever the amount is usually ends up double between what's called a supplement, which is the second check, and a rental car. So it
Right.
typically doesn't work out. Where it works out is you and I are good friends, you and I are neighbors. Here's my estimate. Let's just make it work. But
Yeah. So
typical guy on the street, girl on the street doesn't usually work.
yeah, I'm never going to do that,
what I
even with
do
friends.
is
And
so what I do with our clients is I submit the claim to our insurance, to their insurance company, to your insurance company, brother. I submit the claim to get the process rolling. We can call the dogs off at the end if we need to, meaning tell the insurance company to cancel the claim,
yeah.
that they actually wrote you a check. But that's weird. My thing went off. Hello over there. That's kind of crazy. Hold on. My computer moved somehow. My computer didn't move, but my camera did.
Interesting.
I don't know how this works. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. I don't know how that works. So I'm going to go this way. All right. There I am again.
Kinda.
I am off to the side, but we're going to make it work.
There you go. There you go.
My pretty-
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a. I was going to wait till later to say this, but one of the great things, if you have an independent insurance agent like yourself, you can call them and ask them any of this stuff. Whereas if you got your insurance online, you cannot. That's a
Correct.
huge deal, right?
It's a big benefit. It's a big benefit. We as agents, there's 1,800 of us in the state, 1,800 different insurance agencies to choose from. We have years upon years upon years of experience. We know the local body shops. We know the local situation. We know we have an idea of what parts are going to be delayed, what parts aren't. We know the appraisers that are coming out to appraise your car. We've been dealing with all of them for years, and every agent has. If you go online and report your claim to somebody in Ohio, you know, they may be of help, they may not be of help after you call a 1-800 number. So it is definitely a benefit to use an independent insurance agent. And the other thing too is we're going to help you get a rental car, whether you have the coverage or not. We'll go to the other person's insurance company if it's their fault to try to get you into a rental and have the other insurance company pay for it. I'm guessing the online companies simply wouldn't do that.
I just don't like the idea of being on my own in that time of uncertainty and stress. It's like, oh my God, I got in an accident. What do I do? And that it is worth so much to me. Also, an independent insurance agent gets you the best deal. Correct? You know how to shop.
Correct. And we'll go. Let me just take one step back to the claim.
Yeah.
There's a saying in our business: it doesn't matter who insures you until it does. So when you have a claim, you have questions. You need to talk to your independent agent, who will gladly help you through the process. And that's a big value. And then the value on the other side is that we see everybody sees commercials all day and all night for the direct writers. The Geicos, the Progressives, the Liberties, the State Farms. It goes on and on. The big difference between an independent insurance agent and the direct writers is we're here for you. And the funny thing is everybody thinks that you're going to get a better deal online. You may get a better deal for 6 months. You may not, because what happens is a lot of times you go onto their website and you're buying insurance. You're picking the coverages. You're picking the limits. And most people have absolutely no idea what they're doing. None.
Right.
None. I've had doctors, lawyers with some of the worst coverage. The coverage is so bad, we won't even sell coverage that low, but yet we get policies from doctors and lawyers who go online and buy insurance because they're looking for price. Insurance is far more than price. We as independent agents can compete on price. Certainly compete. We write policies in our office every week that are with the online companies because we give the pricing we get is better, the coverages are better. So there's really, look, if I spent billions of dollars a year in advertising, if I spent billions of dollars a year in advertising, which they do, people would buy more insurance from me, but I don't have $4 billion a year. So I guess if you beat someone over the head enough and they keep hearing the same thing, they'll believe it.
Right. And sometimes people actually go online and get insurance they really don't need. You will tell a person, hey, you don't really need this, but you really need this.
We talk through options. Some people need rental car coverage. Some people need it. I mean, some people need, if someone's car goes down or gets into an accident, they're going to need a rental car. Other people don't. Other people, like, I live in the city. I don't need rental. I hardly use my car, or I can borrow my cousin's car or my parents' car or whatever. So we talk through all of that. We talk through different options. I look at it this way. If you are the type of person that does your own taxes and writes your own will, then maybe going online is for you. But if you don't write your own will and don't do your own taxes and leave it to the professionals, that's where the independent agents in Massachusetts come in.
Right. By the way, people in Massachusetts, is it the law you need liability? No. Yes, it's not the law that you need collision. Correct.
So you need to carry property damage coverage. So you damage someone else's property, someone backs into your car and damages your car, and you need to carry bodily injury coverage in case you injure somebody else. The limits in Massachusetts are woefully low. I can go on right now to an online company and buy an insurance policy with a limit of $5,000 of property damage coverage, meaning I hit your car. Doesn't matter whether the damage is $50,000 or whatever the damage is. My insurance policy is only going to pay $5,000. That's it. It's done after that.
Right.
There are people driving around out there with $5,000 worth of insurance coverage because they went online and got a really good deal. So there's only one problem. When you get into an accident, $5,000 doesn't go very far at all.
Right. Then you lose your house or something like that.
Here's kind of how it works, Bradley. They give the person who had damage the $5,000, and then you come home about a week later and you open your mailbox and there's a letter in there from the other person's insurance company saying, "Oh, by the way, you owe me $50,000."
Yeah.
It doesn't go away.
That's no good. By the way, I always ask this because I want everyone to know, when you rent a car, you know what I'm going to ask. Mm-hmm. Should you get the collision damage waiver? So
you should, assuming this, that the rental car is in your personal name and that you have a personal auto policy in your name and you have a car with collision on it and comprehensive, sometimes referred to as full coverage, then you simply do not need to buy coverage for the rental car. And in Massachusetts.
And why?
Because the Massachusetts auto policy will extend or cover the rental car as if it's your own car. So if the rental car gets stolen, your personal auto policy, let's say you go to vacation, you're in Florida, and the rental car gets stolen, your personal Massachusetts auto policy will pay the rental car company for whatever the rental car is worth, less your deductible on your own policy.
So you would only be on the hook for the deductible.
Right, same as you are here. If a car gets stolen, my car gets stolen today, I'm on the hook for my deductible.
And what is that generally, $500?
$500 or $1,000.
Okay. And that collision damage waiver is expensive.
Yeah. So what collision damage waiver that they try to sell you with the rental car counter is basically what it does is it doesn't mean they're not going to come to your insurance company to pay for the damage when you total a rental car, when you wrap it around a tree. They're still going to go to your insurance company to get paid. The collision damage waiver simply says, hey, since you bought the collision damage waiver, we'll pay your deductible for you. You don't have to pay your deductible.
That's it.
That's all it is. So you don't have to pay your $500 or your $1,000.
Yeah.
But the cost of that, if you do the math, extrapolate the math out, it's crazy expensive.
Right. It is expensive. Say you rent a car.
And here's the other thing, right? You fly, you get on a plane, you land at the airport, you've been traveling all day. All you want to do is get your luggage, get your rental car, and get the heck out of the airport and go to where you're supposed to go. So meanwhile, you're at the rental counter, you're exhausted. You just sign. Nobody reads it. A rental contract's 5 pages long. It's thousands of words. No one reads it. They just sign it, right? Sign it.
Yeah, right.
That's what I do. Give me the keys. Get me out of here.
So in Massachusetts, what's the best way? Maybe we've made someone realize, hey, it's a better idea to have an independent insurance agent. How do you get one?
Google it anywhere. You can go to, there's probably 5 of us in every single town, if not more. You can go to our association's website, massagent.com. We'll give you a list of agents.
Massagent.com.
But if you run to the store to get a gallon of milk, you'll probably drive past 2 of us.
All right. Cool. And it's good to, check it out, people. I don't like dealing with important stuff like that on my own online. If you are really super comfortable with that and you don't like talking to people, and like Chris says, if you do your own taxes and write your own will, maybe that's for you. It ain't for me.
So just one of the quick thing that independent insurance agents do. So right now the insurance rates are going up.
Oh yeah.
Right. COVID raised the price of building costs for houses. They cost more to build now than they used to. Car parts are more expensive. Labor is more expensive. The one difference between an independent insurance agent is we have multiple insurance companies to shop your policies to. You call my office, we're going to give you quotes from 13 different companies. You call an online company, they give one company. That's it. They have no other options. So that's another benefit.
So why did COVID make insurance more expensive?
Well, let's take this example, because like on the homeowner side of things or the commercial buildings, everything's more expensive. The cost of materials are more expensive. The cost of labor is more expensive. So before COVID, for example, if you had a kitchen fire 3 years ago and there was $100,000 worth of damage in your kitchen, that same $100,000 claim today, same amount of damage, is probably going to be about $175,000. Man,
I still don't know why materials are more expensive because of COVID, and why labor is more expensive.
I don't know. That's a study. I have no idea. But the cost now to repair a car is so expensive because there's electronics everywhere. We have backup sensors all over the car. There's no more old metal bumpers anymore. Now everything's plastic. It's called a bumper cover, which is really decorative. Those start at about $800 and up. And those, for the most part, if you get a scrape in those, they can't be fixed. They have to be replaced. So building costs have gone sky high. Auto repair costs have gone sky high. And we somehow have more weather-related claims than ever before. The freeze up, we in the insurance business, we call it 36 hours in February last year. We had a deep freeze. I'm sure everybody remembers. It was so cold out. The insurance industry in Massachusetts paid out tens of millions of dollars because of 36 hours of cold last year where pipes burst everywhere. It was crazy.
So in people's homes, that was the thing?
Houses, commercial buildings, everywhere.
Yeah, a little tip, folks. Take your AC out because people get I would love to leave my AC in, but at some point during the winter, it's going to get cold, and that is something that breaks people's pipes. Pow! And that is a massive, massive bummer. When I was in story, and we'll finish up. When I was in college, we stayed at a place on New York Street in Dover, New Hampshire. We have 5 of us. It got cold. The pipes broke, and when you opened the cellar door, you could hear, it sounded like Niagara Falls down there, and it was just filling up we just had to leave. That I don't know what happened to that guy, but just bad news bears. And if you live, of course, on an upper floor in an apartment, then you're liable for the damage to all the people below that you flooded out. So I think, right? Probably.
Well, if it's cold, you had nothing to do with it. No, but if you were the cause of the pipe, where you left the bathtub on or left the sink on or whatever.
So you're saying that if it's cold and I was not like I took my AC out and did everything right, and the pipes burst, and I was not negligent, they can't sue me down below? That's act of God down below?
No, it's not act of God. It's just there's negligence, right? There's no negligence on you.
Okay, good.
Could be on the company that installed the pipe, could be on the company that did the insulation, could be on the company that did the wood frame. Who knows? It could just be, and it could be whatever.
Yeah, but probably you left your AC or you left the window open and went on a vacation or something.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Well, thank you very, very, very much. I know you're busy taking care of business, but I always like to speak with some of my favorite folks from back in the day on WBZ, and you are one. And I look forward to, I don't look forward to speaking to you professionally, but speaking to you socially, that's fun. I don't want to be making any claims. So thank you very much. It's Chris Russo from Russo Insurance Agency over in Medway. But you don't need to live in Medway if you want to talk to Chris about what we're talking about.
We cover the whole state, all of New England, all the way down to New Jersey, whatever. So
okay, cool. Chris Russo, Russo Insurance Agency. You get out there and you enjoy the day.
Thank you, you too. Thanks for having me on.
All right, we're going to end